I'm at Drives and Controls 2014 for the launch of Schneider Electric's M580 ePAC. I'm talking to Dave Sutton, Product Marketing for Schneider Electric. Dave, Schneider Electric have said a lot about the cybersecurity features of the M580 ePAC. Why is that important right now?
Oh, right. It's cybersecurity, as you've said rightly, it's become a very hot topic in the industry just recently. There's a lot of news on it in the press. If we go back 10, 15 years ago, cybersecurity wasn't there at all. And that's really down to the way in which automation control systems have evolved over that period of time. As I say, go back a decade ago and systems were closed. They were locked down, they used proprietary softwares, probably didn't have any Microsoft operating systems, and they weren't really connected to the outside world in terms of Ethernet and intranet or internet connectivity. So there was no risk there at all. What's happening more recently is that systems have become more open. They're using open technologies, they're using Ethernet connectivity everywhere, and they've been connected to the outside world. Possibly not the outside world, maybe intranets. Companies are keen on grabbing production data so that they can put nice pie graphs on their intranets. So there's a risk there. Systems are becoming more open, and with that becomes the risk of cyber attack.
Right, okay. What sort of threats are they having to face at the moment?
Threats can come from all sorts. I think for the larger organisations where there's the things that hit the press are the critical infrastructures, where there's one of the probably the biggest news items over the last few years was Stuxnet back in 2010. That was to do with the cyber attack on a uranium power plant. So yes, on one end of the scale, the critical infrastructures, there's massive impact. But to the smaller organisations, the smaller to medium-sized manufacturers, there's equally well threat. That threat could come internally. It doesn't have to be external terrorist attacks. It could be from internal attack. It could be disgruntled employees who are just having a go at the company. It could be that people are just actively curious and playing around with internet settings, and they're getting into the wrong screens and changing the wrong parameters. So there's a variety of different threats out there that people need to be aware of. Probably the biggest threat I think that customers face is their lack of knowledge. A lot of companies out there are asking for advice and guidance. We realise this is a threat, but we don't really know where to go with it.
So what sort of features are built into the M580 to help to protect customers?
Well, the M580 has a certification known as Accolades Level 2 certification. That's a stamp of approval to say that the 580 has all the relevant tests and features built in to make it as robust as possible to defend against the risk of attack. Things like password protection, IP filtering, authentication and so on, various lockdowns, so that it comes delivered out of the box in a safe mode. You've got to go out of your way to use some of the services, and therefore it's a conscious decision to be made. But what I would add as well is that the M580 is just a small component of a security system. Yes, you've got to have a robust processor in place, but if it's not surrounded by good network design, good practice in network separation, and above that, a good policy, so that the company, the manufacturer, has policies and procedures in place to make sure that cabinets are locked and so on, that USB memory sticks aren't carried around blindly, then it's all part of a program. So on one hand, yes, it's good to have a good quality Accolades certified ePAC, but that's only part of the story.